So before you freak out, no, Alex isn't dead. Yet. I just needed a bit of a break from Paladin's very exciting gameplay. But also her current area is taking her a hot minute to get through, and she's having a wonderful time. Like, just look at how much fun she's having.
Where the hell did you all come from?
See, it's going great. So my general thought for having multiple characters here is to keep these zones relatively interesting for videos. I try my best, I promise. Ultimately, when Alex reaches 60, I'll have her go back through these low-level zones to complete everything, so then there'll just be one character who has everything done. But for this character, we've chosen a Night Elf Rogue and given her the name Alexari. I swear she's different from our Paladin. Just look at the E at the end of their name. Alex doesn't have that. Though, since I always think of my Paladin as Alex, maybe we need a different name for our Rogue. Maybe Ari. But anyways, I wanted to play a class that actually had something to do in combat, and Rogue looked like a lot of fun from the ones I've seen. And boy was I right! So as a Paladin, you press a button and crumple up a little piece of paper to throw at somebody. But as a Rogue, you press a button and delete half of their health bar. And on top of that, you get to sneak around and stab things and steal shit from people while looking sick as fuck. Like, what's not to love here, honestly? As we get our start here killing some wildlife to preserve the balance of nature or whatever, we're put on the giant tree called Teldrassil, the home of the Night Elves. Yes, we're literally on the top of a giant tree. 11-year-old me was absolutely blown away by this. But then again, I never really used to pay attention to this sort of thing. I was just here to hit things, and that was it, actually. It's not long before Melithar Staghelm sends us off to find a dryad named Tarandrella. Her presence hasn't been felt in the forest of Kalimdor for years, so something's got to be up if she's here. Come to find out, there's something very wrong going on here. Humanoid bears called furbolgs used to live peacefully up here, but since then, they've abandoned their homes, amassing into the Gnarlpine tribe. Tarandrella believes that only the influence of Felmoss could cause this. Taking the place of these furbolgs are these little demons called Grell. To confirm her theory, we need to find this Felmoss. Forcefully, I might add. And as her fears are confirmed, she tells us of another individual in the nearby town of Dolinar that could help us to root out all of this evil. A druid by the name of Arthritis Bearmantle. Within this little place called Shadowglen, we spot Durania Silvershine, as she's worried about a friend of hers named Iveron. Iveron? Fuck. Normally he'd visit her at the same time every day, but she hasn't seen him at all today. And normally he spends a fair bit of time around the spider cave to the north, so I don't know, maybe he's over there just chilling, vibing, relaxing, all cool. We find him sitting not far from the cave mouth, having been bitten and badly poisoned from a nasty spider named Githias the Vile. He tells us to hurry back to Durania, as she'd have a way to cure him. Which she does! She'll just need a fair bit of reagents first, some hyacinth mushrooms from the Grell and around the trees, some moon petal lilies from the nearby ponds, and webwood ichor from from one of the many webwood spiders near the cave. With these, she's able to concoct an antidote for Iveron, shit, but it'll only be usable for 5 minutes. So, while we're in a time frame, let's go sell some shit. This is far more important, my guy, I'm sure you understand. Arriving fashionably late though, we bring this antidote to your boy, and already he's feeling much better. From the sounds of things, this sort of thing happens pretty often. And for now, he's just gonna sit here for a while longer. Honestly, mood. While we're up in this area, another lad from the village named Gilshalan Windwalker needed us to grab some venom sacs from the spiders. He'd like to study and compare their venom with other spiders. On top of that though, he'd also like us to collect an egg from the very back of the cave. All we've got to do is make it to the very back Bruh. Meet Vivera. Vivera, sure. Our druid friend that just stole our spider. How dare you! I'm not actually mad, I'm just very funny to me how they felt really bad for taking it before me. While initially grouping up so I could get the credit for the spider, we're both here for the egg, so decided might as well work together. Being able to just freely backstab things is huge. It is so nice. We talked while getting ourselves to the back of the cave about past characters when we'd started playing, and I'm once again reminded how this is one of my favorite things about Hardcore. I feel like I never get this sort of interaction from an intro quest in retail. Granted, social situations are scary, and it's almost always the other person that initiates. But, you know. As we make it to the very back of the cave, we find our eggs being guarded by the very spider that had been Iveron outside, Githias the Vile. As they're given the old Yeller treatment out back, we collect our eggs and decide to stay grouped for a while longer because, fuck it, why not, dude? The only downside now is that... Oh! The only downside now is that I feel like I've either got to speed read through all these quests or just catch up on them while running around. I like to read them all as I go, so I don't have to when I'm editing. Even though I end up reading through them again anyways when I'm editing, but... Shut up. Anyways, as we return this egg, we're told that Teneron has been asking for us up at the top of this big old tree here. On our way up, we continue our conversation, telling them about how I've been trying to complete every single quest that the game has to offer. Oh nice, my brand of autism is numbers. I've never been so called out yet so seen at the same time. Up top, Teneron Stormgrip has something important he'd like to entrust us with. It's time for us to set out into the world, but before we do, we must learn the history of our people. We're to fill a crystal vial from the moonwell close to here and bring it back to him. Much has changed with our people since the Battle of Mount Hydral. Nordrassil lies a pale shadow of what it once was, its power used to defeat Archimonde and drive back the Burning Legion. You know it's bad when you've played the starting area enough to know of a way to jump down this tree without taking any damage. Normally, this sort of thing would be dumb as hell to do on Hardcore, but man, I've done this so many times by now, I barely even have to think about it anymore. Nearby, we're able to spot this moonwell, filled with water from the Well of Eternity, the ancient source of magic in the world. And the cause of a whole lot of problems. We continue to use its power, though, as the druids can take advantage of its properties, while the sentinels and whatnot revere these wells as shrines to Elune, their moon goddess. Transferring this Elune bathwater into a vessel, we're told to seek out Corithra's Moonrage in Dolinar. Along the road to Dolinar, we find this satyr named Zen Foulhoof who promises to provide us with things we've never even dreamed of. All we've got to do is collect some reagents for him, various bits and bobs from the local wildlife. Sure man, it's not like helping questionable individuals has backfired on us before or anything. Arriving in Dolinar to make our delivery to the inn, it's immediately clear just how far back this recording is, as you can see a fun little treat basket right there. This recording was like a month and a half ago at this point, oh my god. But look, we're a pirate now! Finding Corithras nearby, we learn that the druids in Darnassus, our home city, use the waters from the moonwells, and their own personal one in the city must be replenished from time to time. With these vessels, we're able to collect the water and deliver it to them, and now the next one on our list is just outside the nearby Starbreeze village. It's also at this point that we choose this bub's professions. While our paladin was a miner and a blacksmith, this bub will be an alchemist and an herbalist. So then we can buff ourselves up with potions and shit. After speaking in some absolute brain rot and filling this vial outside the village, we'd gone about grabbing some of these reagents for Zen while also heading down to Lake Alameth. There we come across Denalan, who would like us to deal with the Timberlings in the area that have gone mad. These Timberlings are elementals that reflect the state of plants and animals in the area, which has Denalan worried. He's sure it's got something to do with the soil and has been trying different ways to nurture plants, looking at how to apply them to Timberling seeds as well. On top of that, there's also sprouts, and oh my god, we're going. But these sprouts are small Timberlings that Denalan believes are beyond help. We need to clear them out before they can cause trouble. Something about knowing these are just like small or young Timberlings is actually kind of messed up when you think about it, really. But never mind that, we've got things to stab, and oh my god, I love Rogue so much. Like literally, you just hit backstab and bubs get obliterated. It's just a dopamine button, honestly. You hit the button and boom, big number. Honestly, I kind of wish I'd done this sooner. This is so refreshing to actually, contribute to combat. I can already tell that I'm going to absolutely love playing this character. After pulling a loop or two around the lake, we've gotten everything that Denolan's asked for, but before turning these in, I'd like to be safe and grab one last thing from Dalinar that we'd skipped. I'm sure I could do it still even after turning these in, but I'd rather not. So instead, we decide to just call it a night and return to town. But not before running straight into another Timberling. I swear I'm watching where I'm going. Returning to Korthraz, we receive more of our history while being pointed towards the next pool. After the Battle of Mount Hyjal, we were without direction. Nordrassil smoked from the fire it unleashed, and our immortality, the very essence of our beings, was lost. It was in this trying time that the betrayer was freed from his prison, and Shando Stormrage disappeared. A dark time for all. Continuing on our adventure, it's time to finally pick up everything we'd missed with our friend back in Dalinar. Siral, I think, Bloodleaf needs us to deliver rare earths down to Denolan for his research. So now we can actually turn all of that in and be on our way. After adding the rare earth to his planter, Denolan gives us one of the Timberling seeds to bring to his friend Relian Greenspire in Darnassus. He's been interested in Denolan's research and would appreciate this specimen we've collected. Once we find ourselves in the city, we'll have to seek him out. For now, though, let's get to the rest of these reagents for Zen, Foulhoof, that satyr friend that definitely has our best interests at heart. What a nice guy. With everything collected, he's amused that he was able to trick a night elf into helping him. 3 cheers for the naive and gullible! Wait, did we mess up? We did, in fact, mess up, and now the Council of Force demands that we redeem ourselves by collecting fell cones to feed him. They're corrupted seeds that have fallen from the trees, and he'll surely see them as just a harmless snack. He greedily snatches them up, turning into this little friend-shaped frog boy afterwards. Can we just, have him follow us around now? Alex got a pet, they got a chicken, surely we can just have a frog. Redeemed in the eyes of the forest, it's now time to follow up on Terendrella's suggestion and seek out Arthritis Bear Mantle. The lad's got joint pain. There's a troubling breeze blowing through the forest. Geralaz Talvethrin, a great warden of the hibernating druids, hasn't been heard from in some time. We need to find him in Starbreeze village to the east and come back with a report from him to put Arthritis's worries to rest. I can just never look at this lad's name the same way again. While in Starbreeze, Talankai Swiftroot at the top of the tree here would also like for us to search for his emerald dreamcatcher that he'd left behind. It'd been a gift from Geralus, able to siphon energy from the emerald dream and bring luck to those who carry it. We march on into the village, finding it teeming with corrupt furbog, just as Talankai had warned. With no immediate sign of Geralaz, it's time to start searching these buildings, and oh my god, these furbogs got hands. I just got here and I'm already getting bullied. Upstairs, we find Geralaz laid out upon the floor, too wounded to return. It's now up to us to deliver a message back to Arthritis. Ursel the Mauler, the Gnarlpine chieftain, is using the evil powers of Felmos to drive the furbogs mad. But we must hurry, in hopes that they haven't made it to the barrow dens yet, where the druids are sleeping. In a rush, we pocket Talankai's dreamcatcher and rush back to Dalinar with the news. Unfortunately, this news has come too late. The Gnarlpine have already been seen ravaging the barrow dens, trapping the druids within the Emerald Dream for eternity. However, we can help them with the relics of Wakening. Within the barrow dens, there are 4 relics that we must return to Arthritis, so he can save the druids with a ritual. For those familiar with the zone, this quest is where night elves go to die. The barrow dens are filled with furbolgs, and it's incredibly easy to pull several at a time if you're not careful. This is going to require us to be stronger than we currently are. So in the meantime, we return Talankai's Dreamcatcher only for him to find that the emerald is missing. To the north of Starbreeze, there's a group of Gnarlpine led by Pharos the Dream Eater. It's been said that he wears a necklace that glows green during the night. Surely this neon green is this emerald. After absolutely deleting this lad, Talankai is now able to repair his Dreamcatcher. Though before we go, he's got one other task for us. Back behind Dolinar, there's this cave called Fell Rock. Inside of it, the evil satyr Lord Melanus awaits. He's been steadily gathering an army of these small gorilla creatures and is surely plotting something most foul. His words, not mine. Yet again, I'm a big fan of what rogues are capable of. With evasion, I'm not even really in any danger at all. Like, this is awesome! With Melanus dead, though, Talankai's now able to relax a little and focus on the other problems plaguing the forest. Which brings us back to our furbog problem. As we're making our way to Darnassus to find Relian Greenspire for Denolan, we come across some huntresses who warn us about furbog ambushers along the road. However, being skilled like we are, we can just take the fight to them rather than fearing any sort of attack. Once we get outside the gates of the city, remember that big old necropolis that was outside Stormwind at the end of the last video? Well, there's one here too as part of the opening of Naxxramas event. It's neat, there's little ghosty bubs and skellboys walking around, though they kinda hurt a little bit. The Argent Dawn has a quick little quest to kill some of these lads to collect dim necrotic stones, but also look at this big ol' ritual circles on the ground. Nothing too difficult. After collecting more Forbidden Powerade, we spot Relian Greenspire and Darnassus. Until Denolan is able to find a cure for these Timberlings, they must be dealt with. There's more around another lake to the east called Wellspring Lake. Relian would like the mossy tumors from these so that they can be burned, and in return gives us a rather nice dagger. And while we're away doing that, Denolan has also sent word that he may have discovered the cause of these tumors, so we should return to him as soon as we can. On our way back, we stop by Corithras again to retrieve another snippet of our history. Shando's Stormrage never returned, and the Druids were in disarray, and to this day, we still do not know what became of him. With Malfurion missing, Archdruid Fandral Staghelm took over the leadership of the Druids, convincing the Circle of Ancients in Darkshore that it was time for our people to rebuild, and that it was time for our people to regain their immortality. With the approval of the Circle, Staghelm and the most powerful Druids grew Teldrassil, the new World Tree. All was not well within Teldrassil, however. Staghelm's carefully made plans for the new World Tree had borne out as he had hoped, but there was one small problem. A problem to which many of the troubles on Teldrassil may be attributed. But before we can get to that bit of the story, we still have one more Moonwell to find. In finishing that quest though, we're also now brought to level 10, finally unlocking dual wielding. Hell yeah, dude. Janak Breezesong, our rogue trainer, also has a task for us. The lad's got a creepy obsession with Sierna. His house is filled with paintings and drawings of her, and he'll often go days without eating, sleeping, or drinking while lamenting the love that they could have had. Shit, fuck, dude, take a hint. Unable to take that hint that they're not interested, he sends us off with a flower to go deliver it to her while also making sure she knows that it's from him. Do we have to? Beneath one of the trees in Darnassus, we find Sierna and deliver this flower. Oh, now isn't this wonderful? You've brought flowers for your own funeral. With enough flowers to open up a shop, Sierna thinks we could actually be of some use to her. There's a satyr called Sethir the Ancient that may understand what's been happening to the forest here, though each attempt to cooperate has ended with somebody dying. So, instead of diplomacy, we're just gonna steal his journal and... Oh my god, this trip just doubles my damage. But, we'll get to that. First, let's see what Denolan's been able to piece together back at Lake Alameth. Apparently, there's a Timberling by the name of Oakenscowl along the lake here that's been spreading this corruption to all of the other creatures. While he wasn't able to get close, Oakenscowl clearly had the largest tumor he'd ever seen. While we could go ahead and do that this moment, I think we'd benefit from that dagger from our rogue quest. So instead, I think it's about time to head into some of those barrow dens.
One day and another day, dig around and the flow shakes. Get deeper, get further, the work for the future is in the radio.
Welcome to Banithil Barrow Den, a fun little place absolutely teeming with furbogs that are more than ready to send you right back to Shadow Glen. Normally, this is my favorite part of the Night Elf starting area because it's like a nice mini dungeon of sorts. Kinda. But now with the context of a hardcore character, this place is scary as fuck. Luckily for us though, we're entering at the same time as another pair of bubs, so we just sort of hop in with them to absolutely tear this place up. Like I'd said before, we're here to collect 4 various relics for you boy Arthritis. The Rune of Nesting, Blackfeather Quill, Sapphire of Sky, and Ravenclaw Talisman. All 4 are distributed throughout the Barrow Den in these fun little chests for safekeeping. It's great. Along the way, we run into the spirit of one of the druids trapped here, Oban Rageclaw. Speed reading through this quest text, we learn that the Gnarlpine Shaman have found a way to separate spirit from body, and they've since been animating his body to attack anybody that enters the den. Now trapped within the Emerald Dream, we must find one of these voodoo charms to set him free. Normally, such a thing could take a while, and from my experience, these things really don't have that great of a drop rate. One could spend up to 30 minutes here just looking for this, or you know, we could find it just after the 3rd shaman we kill. That's cool too. Like how? Well, we return this charm back to the lad for him to examine, only for him to come to this grim conclusion that to set his spirit free, we need to kill his soulless body. Afterwards, we must use this voodoo charm upon it and release him into the Emerald Dream. Only then will he be able to rest in peace. And now, with our druid friend released and the relics in our possession, all that remains is to return them all to our friend Joint Pain. While he prepares this ritual, we must seek out Ursel the Mauler and bring an end to his corruption. Only when he's slain will the ritual be complete. Once again, this is something that should wait until our fancy new dagger is in our possession. So our next destination is the Oracle Tree to the north. Standing next to our next moonwell, we find Sentinel Arinia Cloudspeak, standing guard against the nearby harpies. She'd been dispatched along with a small group of sentinels to protect the tree from the harpies that have made their home all along the northwest side of Teldrassil here. When they'd previously tried to send a runner back to Darnassus with a report, the harpies had killed them. We're to get revenge and bring these belts back as proof. Also nearby, we find this giant glowing plant, and taking some shivering fronds from it, we decide that Denalan might be interested in seeing this later. While killing these harpies for their belts, we spot an injured Night Saber hidden deep within their camp. This Night Saber named Mist needs our help to escape the harpies, and in bringing them back to Arinia, the two are reunited. It's also during this time that we find our target, Sathir the Ancient, as he's just staring off into nothing. Lad, this associates better than I do, damn. We wait for him to come back to us and try and pickpocket.
I know you are there.
Fuck, shit. Okay, so, you know, I'd like to avoid getting thrown off of a tree, so maybe let's wait for him to calm down and let's come back later, I think. Instead, how about we look for this rare boy? Around these timberlings we'd just taken tumors from a bit ago, there's also a rare lad named Black Moss the Fetid. The only reason we're really looking for him at all is because he drops a quest, and while I'd almost always normally see him up here, he's nowhere to be seen. Such is life on a hardcore server. Even pulling a lap or two around this area doesn't get us anywhere, so instead, perhaps a spider is in our future. When we were in Darnassus talking to Relian Greenspire a while back, we'd found Sister Akin? Who then pointed us towards the Temple of the Moon as a creature of the forest needed our help. According to Priestess Amura, Lady Sathra was once beloved of Elune, but has lately descended into madness. I'm starting to sense a common theme here among the various creatures here in Teldrassil. To end her suffering, we need to put them down and bring her silvery spinnerets back here to the temple. And once they've been placed within the central fountain, the holy waters can then purify the madness within her and lay her to rest, so she may one day be reborn with a renewed spirit. Now, with that accomplished, maybe we can find Black Moss around here somewhere. He'd look like one of our dark green friends here, but maybe a little bigger and, never mind. There's still not shit here, dude. After grabbing the rest of our belts, Sathir was calling our name again. No matter what happens, we're going all in this time. His bluffs won't work on me. Probably. If anyone's falling off of this tree, it's going to be him. We'll just, take this and, be on our way and... Where are you going? God, I thought you were straight up just about to jump off or something.
Someone just stole my journal. Time to jump off the side of this tree.
Like, damn, dude. Bit dramatic there, aren't we? In bringing these belts back to Orinia, we're told that we're to be the next runner to Darnassus. We've certainly shown that we're capable of making it back in one piece, so this duty's been entrusted to us. As soon as we clean our bags. While this is definitely a super important mission for us right now, what if we went looking for Black Moss some more instead and, wait. I think we've just witnessed a murder. Oh my god, we definitely just did. That bitch is dead. That's really unfortunate. And on that, maybe let's just head back to the city to turn this all in. We'll first deliver this inscribed oak back to Archduke Fandril's Staghelm, who was wondering why they hadn't heard from the Oracle Tree in so long. While we're here playing messenger, he'd also like us to deliver a message to the Grove of the Ancients, specifically to an ancient of lore named Onu. As soon as we're done here in Teldrassil, we'll be sure to do that, but for now, we've got a dagger to collect. Sirna takes the journal that we can't read and finds grim news hidden within. The sickness gripping the forests of Darkshore has now begun tainting our home as well. Unfortunately, there's nothing more to be done here. We just get to let that realization sit, I guess. Awesome! But the silver lining of this situation is now we know how to kick things. Interrupt abilities make me so happy, you do not even know, man. From here, we'll just hearth on back and... We never moved our Hearthstone to Dalinar, goddammit. By now, things are wrapping up. All that's really left to do is finish up our history lessons and slay Ursel the Mauler. And Oaken's Scowl, I guess. I swear I didn't forget about him at all. As we return this final vial to Carithras, we get our final bit of history as well. With Teldrassil grown, the Archdruid approached the dragons for their blessing, as the dragons had placed upon Nordrassil in ancient times. But Nosdormu, Lord of Time, refused to give his blessing, chiding the druid for his arrogance. In agreement with Nosdormu, Alexstrasza also refused Staghelm, and without her blessing, Teldrassil's growth has been flawed and unpredictable. With the vessel now filled with forbidden Gatorade, it's now ready to be delivered to the Archdruid. Yeah, you know, the guy we were just talking to before all of this. I love walking, though let's save that for when we're ready to leave. Oakenscowl is calling our name, and it'd be rude to leave him Where did you all come from? God, it's just like that cave in Duskwood all over again. He's already dead? What do you mean? Have I ever mentioned how much I've been liking Rogue? I don't think I've said anything about it yet, and I just really want to make it clear that I really like Rogue. Going back to Alex is going to be a struggle after this. Combat goes from being 5 seconds back to like 40. With one threat dealt with, it's time for another as Ursel the Mauler is now within our sights. Just like this big old plant. We'll just take some back for Dennaland as well. At this point, Lad's gonna be absolutely thrilled with everything we're taking back to... Excuse me? Lad's health bar just straight up disappeared, holy shit. I feel as a god around these parts. So, before with Vivera, I'd mentioned how one of my favorite bits of hardcore was the conversations you'd get with people, and how you'll meet random people and have just nice little interactions with them. Well, this is the complete opposite. Not a single word is exchanged between us, which is honestly just kind of me IRL. Sure, I talk a lot in these videos, but get me into an in-person conversation and it's dead quiet. In complete silence, we take on Ursula the Mauler and free the druids trapped within the Emerald Dream. Ursula the Mauler has fallen, and hopefully with him, the corruption of the Gnarlpine tribe as well. Back at the lake, Denoland will do his best to study the gargantuan tumor from Oakenscowl. On top of returning that, we also hand over these strange plants that we've been finding around here. The fronds remind him of Swamp of Sorrows, which is very far away from here. And for the fruit, he's sure that it also has to be very far away from here. Perhaps even as far as Azeroth. Now that both this lad and Henry Maleb back in Hillsbrad have referred to it like this, I'm beginning to think that the Eastern Kingdoms were just originally called Azeroth. Though honestly, I don't know. We could just look it up, but Now, with everything else complete, we look once more for Black Moss and find nothing. At least, at first. Hours later, after logging out and back in several times to check, we find him. You beautiful level 13 monstrosity, you. With this moss-twined heart, we rush back to Denoland. I still haven't made Dolinar my home. God damn it. But we rush back to Denoland, and look at this absolutely disgusting thing I just found. Isn't it neat? I think it's really cool. You should grab it. After removing some of this moss from it, we plant it within this planter here, and the earth cleanses it, giving us a little friend to summon later. You'll love to see it. From here, only one thing remains, bringing the filled vessel back to Fandral Staghelm. Once more, he impatiently greets us, telling us that Teneran and Corithras haven't chosen the most reliable of messengers. This lad's just about to make me violent. But with that, Teldrassil's officially complete, and the dangers of Darkshore await us. Once again, I'd like to thank y'all that make it to the end of these videos. These, take me a hot minute to make, especially when I get distracted with other things. I'm looking at you in particular, V Rising. But also, I wanted to give y'all a bit of a notice. In my spare time, I also like to work on little sort of anime intros and endings for my D&D group, and it's been kind of a while since I've made one. I've been kind of wanting to work on one again for some time, so if the next video takes me a while to make, that's why. The link to that channel will be down in the description if you want to give that a peek. Otherwise, I'll see you all next time. Merry Christmas, y'all. Holy shit, I need to drink. Fuck. Oh no. Oh jeez. Oh fuck. I need paper towel.